Okay, my name is Bobby Vaught. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you so choose. Down below in the description, I'll put a link to lesson 1 of a series that I've done, everything to know about understanding investing. I've done 16 lessons now, so if you're interested, you go to lesson 1, I'll put it in the description, and then each lesson has a link to the next one. Lesson 1 has a link to lesson 2, which has a link to lesson 3, so on and so forth. Make them all really easy to find. If you're interested, you will understand investing better than 99% of the people out there, in my opinion. Okay, so today's presentation is not about that. However, there's two different parts of this channel. One part is the investing side, which I just mentioned, and then I also do a lot of political, social commentary, economics, foreign policy, all kinds of things, including illegal immigration, which is the topic today. So what we're going to do, we're going to listen to a video here between Piers Morgan and Joy Reid. I'm sure you know who they both are. It's about 1 minute 37 seconds long. It's exactly 1 minute 37 seconds long. And then we're going to make some comments on it, okay? So here we go. Just take a listen here.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well, hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue. You're trying to make the issue the southern border.
Joy. You've just given me... Joy. Joy.
The point is...
Joy. You've just given me... Joy.
Was not dragging women...
Joy. Let me finish. You've just...
Joy.
Yeah, this is painful.
Joy. Joy. You've just given me...
I'm sure going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me...
But it's not my main issue. My main issue is that what we're seeing...
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've
Please.
just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you there was a Democrat, a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me. I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because
guess.
I think each 2 million.
It was 3 million.
Okay. And your point being what?
My point
What's the
being,
point?
are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump?
It is not deportations
Many of them were
themselves that
brown.
are shocking. Wait a minute. Can
Many,
I answer
in
your
fact,
question?
the majority.
Hold on.
This video
Okay,
was
so-
a guy who said he was a U.S. citizen.
So she's not in, it's clear, so she says it's not her main issue. It's clear that she's not, Joy Reid is not saying that she is against deporting illegal immigrants. That's not her deal, okay? She's questioning processes, when you can deport and so on and so forth. Joy didn't want to answer the question. So she didn't want Piers to answer the question either. That's why she tried to talk over him, because she didn't want information heard. She isn't secure enough in her opinion to let others express theirs. In other words, it's a lot easier to win the debate, at least in her own mind, if she's the only one in the debate. You know, just conveniently set up the rules of engagement in her favor. So she outright states that she didn't care how many people were deported during the Obama years. So she's certainly in favor, it appears, of deporting illegal immigrants. Okay, good. So let's just translate this. But she wasn't even paying attention to the issue during the entire Obama administration. The issue is only important to her when it's politically convenient for her. Regarding processes and when you can deport and when you can't, so on and so forth. Let's just cover a few things, because I did an AI overview for whatever you think it's worth. That's a compilation of, that's pretty good research. I mean, it's a compilation of numerous sources and just, creates a little report for you, right? So, on Obama deportations without hearings, all right, regarding judicial hearings. Here's what it says. Listen to this closely. While the U.S. Constitution provides due process rights to all individuals within the country, including undocumented immigrants, that's complicated. Due process is not the same as, is not necessarily the same as requiring a hearing. Okay, in fact, let's just stop right there and cover that in a little more detail here because it's important. Individuals have the right to legal presentation, the opportunity to present evidence, and the chance to challenge the evidence against them. Here's what I was getting at. Expedited removal. This is the law, okay? The expedited removal process allows for the swift deportation of individuals without a hearing before an immigration judge. Without a hearing before an immigration judge. This process typically applies to individuals apprehended at or near the border. It doesn't say what near the border means. That's kind of ambiguous. Who have been in the United States illegally for less than 2 years. However, even in expedited removal cases, individuals can still request a hearing if they express a fear of returning to their home country or if they are seeking asylum. Okay, so there's the exceptions. All right, a hearing, due process does not necessarily include a hearing. All right, so let's continue. And that's the law in many cases. The Obama administration's enforcement priorities and the use of expedited removal processes, that's what we just looked at, expedited removal processes, led to many individuals being deported without a full hearing before an immigration judge. According to NBC News, about 83% of the people deported in 2013 did not have a hearing in 2013 and never saw an immigration judge. These practices generated a significant debate and controversy regarding the balance between immigration enforcement and due process protections. So 2013, just 1 year on the entire Obama administration, it says, while the exact total number of immigrants deported without a hearing during the Obama administration is not readily available, so that 2013 was the only year I could find these specific numbers on. It is clear that a large majority of deportations occurred without a formal hearing. Obama used ICE. He used the expedited removal process, which we just looked into. Okay, so it makes some very important distinctions here. We're not talking, in this case, we're not talking about U.S. citizens, nor what's it called? The permanent status. I'm trying to blank here. Yeah, lawful permanent resident. That's what it's called. In other words, people with green cards. That's what that means. In any event, so just continuing here. Find out. I lost my place here. Let's get back to where we were. Okay, so let's talk about, that's just illegal immigration. All right, so let's get to some specifics here regarding naturalized citizens and then legal permanent status. Okay, so while there have been some cases of U.S. citizens deported, this has not been a policy. So U.S. citizens, let's be clear about something, because about, I don't know, probably 50 years ago when I was a teenager, I learned something, and it's very important. This is very important in debate or discussion. When something does not appear to support your side, just own it. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't paint yourself in a box by trying to deny it. So it's true that U.S. citizens have been wrongfully deported. And we're talking about U.S. citizens here. It's While it's illegal to deport a U.S. citizen, there have been cases where individuals or who are citizens have been mistakenly detained and deported. Those kind of situations, cases of mistaken identity, that kind of thing, that can be corrected. On the question of whether deporting citizens as a Trump policy, very important distinction here. Cases of mistaken identity, on the question of whether deporting citizens is a Trump policy, no. Here's what it says. The Trump administration's immigration policy, while aimed at significantly increasing deportations, does not include deporting U.S. citizens. Not as a policy. The administration has explored legally revoking the citizenship of naturalized citizens. Somebody comes from another country, gains U.S. citizenship through the naturalization process. The administration has explored legally revoking the citizenship of naturalized citizens under very limited and rare circumstances, such as if their citizenship was obtained through fraud or misrepresentation during the naturalization process. That's understandable. In very rare circumstances, it says. If a person's naturalized citizenship is revoked through a process called denaturalization, they could then be subject to deportation proceedings, but this is a separate legal process and from direct deportation of a citizen. So this is so that obviously requires a hearing. Okay, on naturalized citizens having citizenship revoked only in very specific circumstances such as fraud or misrepresentation during the naturalization process. Understandable. If somebody is, comes to this country from another country, comes to the United States from another country, a naturalized citizen becomes eventually a U.S. naturalized citizen, but then it's discovered that it was through fraud or misrepresentation. There could be numerous examples of that, just misrepresenting paperwork, marriage fraud, all kinds of things. Well, yeah, sure. With a hearing, with a court procedure, then that citizenship can be revoked. On the question, so we're not talking about just merely illegal immigration here. These are very specific things. Naturalized U.S. citizenship, and in this case, and then the next subject is lawful permanent residents. Green card holders can be deported. But only under some circumstances. The immigration, this is the law. This is the law. It's been the law for a while now. The Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, outlines various grounds for deportation and removal of non-citizens, including lawful permanent residents. This also would obviously require a hearing. Reasons for deportation. Some of the most common reasons for deporting green card holders include criminal convictions. Certain criminal convictions can lead to deportation, such as aggravated felonies, murder, drug trafficking, crimes involving moral turpitude, fraud, theft, or drug offenses, except for minor marijuana possession. They don't deport lawful permanent residents for minor marijuana possession or something like that. Immigration fraud. Again, the immigration fraud subject comes up. Providing false information or representing facts during the immigration process, such as marriage fraud, using fraudulent documents, can be grounds for deportation. National security concerns. If a lawful permanent resident is deemed a threat to national security or the country's foreign policy interest, they may be subject to deportation. Those deportations, those deportations would obviously require hearing, including in lawful permanent residents and also obviously naturalized U.S. citizens. Okay? So that's the law. We just covered the whole thing. Illegal immigrants, naturalized citizens, and lawful permanent residents, green card holders. So here's the question. Well, while Obama was, deporting 3 million brown people, he was hanging out on the Jimmy Kimmel show, getting applause from his little minions, and, getting 2 Grammy Awards for Best Spoken Word Album. I'm just curious, do you recall Joy Reid paying attention to these massive deportations without a hearing? We're talking about illegal immigrants. Not just, it says nothing to do with U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents, just somebody that crossed the border illegally. Do you recall that? Nope. She just outright stated she didn't even care about it. At least not during the Obama years. She wasn't even close to knowing the number of deportations when Piers Morgan asked her. Much less know that a large majority were without hearings during the Obama years. She couldn't have cared less about it during the Obama years. She just said so. Here's the bottom line. There's no material change in policy between the 8 Obama years and the Trump administration, including the second Trump administration, which started January 2025. There's no material changes in policy. None. Oh, and Obama used ICE, by the way. In any event, there's my 2 cents for the day. Until next time, hope life is treating you well. You have a great day.